future for this type of key sectors which I have put up here. And coming to the main theme, where we talk about innovation, what I have learned is that our first challenge is in bringing in more innovation into manufacturing is to build some irreverence. When I mean irreverence means younger people who don't agree with you, who want to do it in a little different way. Unfortunately, our existing hierarchical structures kill irreverence. Maybe it is even more in hierarchical organized organizations. I've learned that the general innovation comes more from young people who do not know how it is done. And therefore they come out with something. Sometimes it is stupid. All of us, when we entered into L&T from IITs, and they were the shop foremen, were all 25 years, 30 years experienced people. So there was a lot of resistance for those days, IIT engineers to be put on the shop floor and being asked to give some directions. So I think promoting irreverence means building the questioning attitude in our young talented employees and borderless working. We need to create a positive ecosystem. I sincerely mean it, because this is what makes the difference between an organization which has grown and an organization which not has. In the public sector, you take BHL and you take HEC Ranchi. Both came up at the same time. When we were young, we went to both these places to see our first horizontal borer, our first vertical borer. They had all of it, Russian or Polish or whatever it is. But one grew up in Trichy and elsewhere and zoomed to be one of the technological strengths of India. The other poor chap is, not doing so well. So I think you need leadership, but you need also clear vision and mission. I think Kodesa has set that up. But you need to nurture that culture of creativity and innovation. Because people who are innovative will make mistakes. It's very easy. If you don't make mistakes, you don't make anything. You couldn't have produced a Sehwag if you had asked him to bat like old days, I don't know whoever it was, who blocked and blocked. So basically, I think empowerment, creating innovative people, because in tomorrow's manufacturing, I think it's all global, innovative products, innovative productivity and all is going to mean a lot. One important thing here, which you must use as small-scale industry, we used. In our young days, we had maximum interaction with IIT Powai, VJTI, IIT Madras, etc., because at that scale in the 60s, we didn't have any of those. We learned our finite element analysis. Those we couldn't buy programs. We learned our finite analysis from Civil Engineering Department of IIT Powai. We learned our finite difference analysis from Suktankar and others who are doing it for the atomic energy people. So I would strongly suggest that these young, small industries, that's why you need talented people. So they can interact with those professors and others. And today, the strength of Germany, strength of Europe, and not so much the strength of us, is not so much use of the academic strengths by industry. And I think it's easier for small and medium scale to use it rather than big companies, because they think they know everything, sometimes the big company. And many of these design capabilities initially won't be available with you. You cannot even build it yourself. So I think it's important that you have, just like you outsource everything, you can also outsource high-end engineering. But for that you need people internally who can adopt it. So I think this is something that I would put forward in. So the cooperation with the universities is very important. Going forward, new technologies, especially digital and database technologies and additive manufacturing, also known as 3D printing, will be game changers in manufacturing. And these are more suitable at the small product level. And so I think there must be a little more, and here again, I don't know if it's here, but in Bombay and all, some private people have set up 3D printing setups where we can go and outsource our prototype. Traditionally, strategy and innovation were treated as different activities. Strategy was about things you could plan. and innovation was about the unplannable, the occasional leaps in imagination and creativity in products on technology that renewed the strategy. That's how it was. You have strategy and suddenly some sparks keep coming of some innovative. But with increasing dynamism of today's business environment, driven by technology, globalization and other factors, innovation has become increasingly vital to success, and strategy and innovation converge. In many ways, innovation has become the heart of strategy. I think this is the key change that I would say, that you have to have innovation as a strategy and not strategy and then you also think of innovation. How can companies improve innovation? Clearly, innovation is highly dependent on corporate culture and people involved. And here I would just like to say what our founder, Ho Klassen, used to tell us in the 70s. Because, we were established by, like two of you going to Europe and establishing a company. It's like two individuals who came here to Madukkarai to commission a cement plant. War intervened. They liked India. There was opportunity in Bombay. As two people, they started the company with Indian money, very little money, and one Indian partner. And that is how this company is. So the company has always been an Indian company, but built with great values of the Danish founders. And he used to always say, buildings must be there, missionaries must be there, but without people, it's all nothing. People are our only real assets. So I think the key of innovation is you must have the right type of people. And it is better to have young people also, because you need a combination of experience and some people who don't know too much but who have the potential. How can companies improve innovation? Clearly, innovation is highly dependent, as I told you, on corporate culture. Managers are constantly challenged on the economic performance. Today all of us are every time looking how much you produced, what price you produced, etc., what type of rejects you had, and so on and so forth. But they also will be challenged on the innovation and technology contribution. Here I can tell you in our own company, many years ago we have two streams. One we call the MLP and one we call the TLP. MLP are the all-rounders who have technical, managerial, all type of strengths. And TLPs are our technology leadership people. They will be fewer in number compared to the MLPs. But they are a key part. The whole defense growth of ours, the whole factory was set up in Pune. The boy, Mr. J.D. Patil, has become our director. He was one of my young engineers when I was also young, working in R&D. So basically, you need a combination of this type of people. So you must give importance to innovation and technology contribution, which may not show in rupees, annas and pies in the balance sheet. Because this is a little subjective thing. By the time that innovation shows results, it is credit taken by the people who are manufacturing, or actually selling. Going forward, the role of technology innovation in achieving sustainable business success is of such significance that both should be considered as an integral part of strategy. Before I conclude, just to introduce our own manufacturing presence here. We have 3 units here. We have our defense manufacturing unit for lighter components, which are all subsystems which go into missiles and rockets. And this is where there is an enormous opportunity. Already we do a lot of outsourcing. I'm sure some of you may be involved in it. But there is a lot of opportunity here for being part of the mechanical and electrochemical subsystems in the sectors. And this area is going to grow. So the type of what we are today is maybe 25% of what we will be here after 15 years. So we call this the L&T Precision Manufacturing Hub. It also has a very high-end tool room, which makes very precision components for the rocket and missiles. So it's a great place for a mechanical engineer to work. The other important unit we have is we have our own valves factory here, where we, on our own design, from day one, started manufacturing valves for the ultra mega super power plants and so on, built on our own designs. And the whole range of things, they also, it's a sister unit or a daughter unit of the unit in Kanchipuram. So this is another area, of course, here a lot of outsourcing has been going on for castings and so on for a long length of time. The third unit we have is a switchgear shop for building control panels. I think these, at the moment, I think the tool room, the precision manufacturing plant for assembly and welding and so on of rockets and casings, the valves factory and the switchgear plant are what we have today. So basically, I think I'm very happy to be here. It's always a pleasure. Just a secret to you, this is my paternal home. This is where my grandfather lived. And I never studied here. I grew up in Hyderabad and then went to IIT Delhi. But my parents settled here after they retired. They're no more now. But we have our own house here. So it's a great pleasure to be here to come and talk to you. I have a great admiration for Coimbatore reminds me a lot of Surat and so on, because in all these places the self-made entrepreneurs are there. And I think one of the growth stories of tomorrow's India has to be where more people don't work for others but work for themselves. So with this, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very, very much, sir. Keynote address. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a big round of applause as he receives the memento. Mr. Krishnamurthy Venkatraman, Chairman, L&T Hydrocarbon Engineering Limited. Requesting Mr. Krishnamurthy Venkatraman and Mr. V. Sundaran to please stay back on this.